Greetings, fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 1995 film Heatseeker, starring Keith H. Cook, Tina Cote, Norbert Weiser, and Gary Daniels. But first, a word from our sponsors. An overview of the movie? In the distant future of 2019, the world of kickboxing now allows fighters to have cybernetic enhancements. However, the reigning champion, Chance O'Brien, is one of the few fighters who is 100% human. The head of one of the cybernetic companies decides to hold a tournament to prove which company has the best possible cybernetics available. When O'Brien refuses to enter, they kidnap his girlfriend and threaten to kill her if he does not compete. The pros of this movie? Well, first of all, I thought the story of this movie was pretty damn original. Now, I'm not talking about the kidnap the girlfriend and we'll kill her if you don't do what we want side of the story. I'm talking about the cybernetic enhancements, how the world of kickboxing allows these cybernetic enhancements to be used as long as they're under a certain threshold. And the cybernetic companies having this tournament to decide which cybernetic enhancements are the best, and those fighters being allowed to have at 50% cybernetic enhancements. I thought that was a great touch, and how this human guy is going through fighting against all these cybernetically enhanced warriors. I love that. I thought that was a great touch. It's something you don't see every day, and it's the makings of a really good underdog story. Also, as this movie is a fight movie, it's important that the fights look good, and they were great. Yes, the fights in this movie were really there. They were the main focus of the movie, and the story, the story was just there to take up the space between the fight scenes, and that's good because you want the fight scenes. And these fight scenes were spectacular. A lot of different fighting styles, not just kickboxing. It was just glorious. The fight scenes in this movie were great, and I loved them. The practical effects in this movie were good considering the budget. This was a very low budget movie, so the practical effects they had were great. A lot of wounds where the skin rips off and there's robot bits underneath were just fantastic. I loved all the practical effects in this movie. They were done very well considering the budget of the movie. The cons of this movie? Well, the first one I noticed is that the opening credits are ridiculously long. I mean, we're talking, they interspliced the opening credits with scenes of them building the Ultimate Warrior guy, who was played by Gary Daniels. His name was Zhao. 6 minutes. The opening credits took 6 minutes. Well, nearly 6 minutes. It was 5 minutes and 45 to 50 seconds, nearly 6 minutes to get through the opening credits of this movie, because they interspliced the opening credits with the scenes of them building all these cyborg dudes. The cyborg dude looked good, but with them having the opening credits just be names on this blank black screen, it didn't work very well. If you're gonna do, opening credits with the building of this cyborg, put the names overlapping the scenes in the movie so it doesn't take as long to open the movie. Also, this movie is very clearly a product of its time. It's clearly a movie from the 90s, from the early 90s, and you can tell this movie doesn't even feel like it takes place in the future like it's supposed to. Like I said, this movie is supposed to take place in the year 2019. It was made in 1995, and it looks and feels like it was made in 1995, and it looks and feels like it takes place in 1995. The only thing about this movie that makes it feel like it's in the future is the fact that all these fighters have these cybernetic enhancements. Make this movie feel like the future. Hell, Total Recall felt like the future. And that was filmed in the 80s. Also, my biggest and most disappointing complaint about this movie is the final battle scene between Chance O'Brien and Zhao, who was the Ultimate Warrior weapon guy. And the reason I didn't like that fight scene, it was underwhelming. It was boring. It left me with kind of a meh feeling to it. And that's the epic battle of the movie. And the problem with that is that Zhao was not the primary antagonist. The guy who ran the company that made Zhao and made Zhao's cybernetic enhancements, that was the antagonist, not Zhao. Zhao was just a tool. So the fact that these two people fought, you didn't really care because you wanted to see Chance O'Brien take out the head of the company, and his fight with Zhao was just there. Make Zhao the bad guy. Make Zhao the antagonist. And have those two fight in this epic battle of the ages. You know, all human versus cyborg and fight to the death. That would have been awesome. Not what they did have. That was boring and mediocre at best. My overall thoughts on the movie? I found this movie really enjoyable. However, it did have some issues, so I give it 1 thumb up. This movie doesn't have the deepest or most developed story ever, but really the story's just there to fill up the gaps between the fight scenes. This is one of those movies where you just shut off your brain and be entertained by it, and it excels at that. The biggest issue with the movie, though, is that final showdown between O'Brien and Zhao. The fight's just underwhelming, and it leaves the audience thinking, really? That's it? It's a good tournament fighter movie. It has amazing fight scenes in it, aside from that final battle scene. So if you enjoy those kind of movies, you should check out Heatseeker. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it, and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week, and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. If you have any recommendations for things you would like me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you, and have a nice day.